In this video lecture, I will be explaining one of the fundamental principle of counting, rule of sum. So, in many situations of computational work, we employ two basic rules of counting called the rule of sum and the product rule. Okay, so what is rule of sum? If there are m choices for one task and n choices for another task, okay, and the two tasks cannot be done at the same time, then performing either task can be accomplished in m plus n ways. So we can say, for example, if I have a task T1 and T2 and the T1 and T2 are to be performed, and if T1 can be performed in m ways, T2 can be performed in n different ways. And if these two tasks cannot be performed simultaneously. So remember this point is important. When two tasks are there and both cannot be performed simultaneously, that means one of the two tasks, either T1 or T2 can be performed. Then there will be total m plus n ways. Okay. So let's take one example, then it will be more clear. Suppose there are 16 boys and 18 girls in a class. Okay, so 16 boy and 18 girls are there in a class and we want to select one of these student. Okay, we want to select one of these student. So one of these student means either boy or girl, okay, as the class representative. Okay, so here one thing you have to see, there will be total 16 ways for selecting boys, and so there will be 16 ways for selecting boys, and same way there will be 18 ways for selecting girls. And since we have to select either boy or girl as a class representative, not both, then there will be 16 plus 18 ways to select either boy or girl as the class representative. So 34 will be the answer. Okay. Let's take one more example. For example, if there is a hostel library that has 12 books on mathematics, okay, and 10 books on physics, okay, and 16 books on computer science and 11 books on electronics. So college library has 12 books on mathematics, 10 books on physics, 16 books on computer science and 11 books on electronics. Okay, and a student want to choose one of these books for study. So student want to choose one of these. So when we say one of these, so at least that means one of the task. Okay, so one of these books for study. Okay, so the number of ways in which, so the number of ways in which he can choose a book will be what? 16 plus 12 plus 10 plus 11, so total 49. So this will be the answer. Okay, so more generally what we can say, if I have T1, T2, T3 and Tk are k tasks. Okay, so we have T1, T2, T3 up to Tk. There are k tasks such that no two of these tasks can be performed at the same time. Okay, and if task Ti can be performed in ni different ways, then the one of the task T1 or T2 or T3 or T4 or Tk can be performed in n1. Suppose if I say for T1 there are n1 ways, for T2 n2 ways, for T3 n3 ways, like that. So then it will be n1 plus n2 plus n3 up to nk different ways. So for sum rule, what you have to remember, if I have more than one task, for the task T1 I have m ways, for task T2 I have n ways. So when both the tasks should not be performed simultaneously, that means one of the tasks should be performed, then there will be m plus n ways. And if we have more than two tasks, suppose T1, T2 up to Tk, and for T1 there are n1 ways, for T2 there are n2 ways, for T3 there are n3 ways, then one of the tasks can be performed in n1 plus n2 plus n3 up till nk different ways. So hope the concept of sum rule is clear to you. In next video lecture, I will discuss rule of product. Thank you.